What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update that you guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. So we're now seeing the latest political stunt coming from that sanctuary city mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, backfiring and instantly blowing up in his face as he is now the subject of serious legal trouble as a direct result of his actions, guys. And I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, stop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Breaking news now. There is word from Washington that the Trump administration is planning to conduct a major immigration enforcement operation right here in Chicago. Sources confirmed to CBS News that could include armored trucks, federal troops, and ICE agents flooding the city. This morning, city leaders briefed a group of reporters, including CBS News Chicago investigator Megan DeMar. She is with me now to talk about this plan and what you learned.
Right. So multiple sources tell us that expected deployment is expected by next Friday, September 5th. Now, Mayor Johnson said they've heard the same reports, but about ICE agents, about possible deployment of National Guards, but they haven't had any direct communication from the federal government.
The federal government should spend that money on proven solutions to crime and violence reduction. We cannot incarcerate our way out of violence. We've already tried that, and we've ended up with the largest prison population in the world without solving the problems of crime and violence. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down. We cannot return to the same failed strategies that got us here in the first place. Under the previous presidential administration, we requested more federal resources to address gun violence in our city. We continue to make that same call. We have made significant progress on our own, but there is so much more that we can do if we had real support from the federal government. Our communities need more federal resources for public safety. There's no question about that. But unsolicited, unwarranted military takeover is not needed.
All right, you guys, so there it is right there. That is what's unfolding in the city of Chicago currently. President Trump declaring that there's going to be massive immigration enforcement, a sort of a flood the zone moment that they promised. Borders are Tom Homan, President Donald Trump have said this many of times. If these sanctuary cities aren't going to comply, they're going to flood the zone. And we're now seeing a massive immigration enforcement on the way, pending in the city of Chicago. We got Mayor Brandon Johnson immediately responding to that with his own executive order. I want you guys to check it out.
Still, we take these threats seriously, and we find ourselves in a position where we must take immediate, drastic action to protect our people from federal overreach. I'm signing an executive order today that will launch the Protecting Chicago initiative. This is a project that builds on the months of preparation that we have done that has led up to this very moment. Protecting Chicago will ensure that every Chicagoan knows their rights, that every single family is prepared, and every part of city government is directed to protect the people of Chicago from federal action. This sweeping executive order directs our Department of Law to pursue any and every legal mechanism to hold this administration accountable for violating the rights of Chicagoans. This order affirms that the Chicago Police Department will not collaborate with military personnel on police patrols or civil immigration enforcement. We will not have our police officers, who are working hard every single day to drive down crime, deputized to do traffic stops and checkpoints for the president. This order affirms the CPD officers will be directed to wear CPD uniforms and refrain from wearing masks so that residents can clearly distinguish them from federal agents. And finally, as I said, it establishes the Protecting Chicago initiative, the most sweeping campaign of any city in the country to protect ourselves from the threats and actions of this out-of-control administration. We will protect our Constitution, We will protect our city, and we will protect our people. We do not want to see tanks in our streets. We do not want to see families ripped apart. We do not want grandmothers thrown into the back of unmarked vans. We don't want to see homeless Chicagoans harassed or disappeared by federal agents. We don't want to see Chicagoans arrested for sitting on their porch. That's not who we are as a city, and that's not who we are as a nation. My team and I have spoken with the governor, the county president, and with our federal delegation, and we are in complete alignment. The time for action is now. With that, I will sign this executive order.
So we're clearly getting this picture now that Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago is out of touch. He's screaming that the city of Chicago is fine, that they're doing all right as far as crime and the presence of illegal migrants, but the citizens are singing a whole different tune. I wanted you guys just to get the perspective of folks that actually reside in his city, and they're saying that he keeps painting this picture to say everything is safe, but it's the complete opposite.
I'm here. We're sending the troops here in the next coming days, which we appreciate. Thank you, President Trump, for listening to us. We've been down there for 2 years screaming for your help, and we're glad that you finally are the man to listen to us, since we have a governor who doesn't listen to us. We have a mayor who doesn't listen to us. The previous administration, Biden and Harris, they opened up the border and sent 22 million illegals in our communities. Over 70,000 are right here in the city of Chicago. So thank you, President Trump, for listening to our pleas and are sending the correct people to come do a man's job.
I just received news that between sundown Saturday and sunrise today, 25 people were shot across Chicago. 3 of them lost their lives. Nearly half of the victims were targeted in a pair of mass shootings, both involving drive-by gunmen who opened fire on a large crowd. This is what I've been saying on every platform that I've been on. When I went on CNN on the Victor Blackwell show, when he started telling me about the crime statistics and how they're down, and I keep telling these people, you can't tell us that crime is down because we're experiencing what's going on in our communities. You can't tell us what's going on. We know what's happening. We know how dangerous it is. We know that it's not safe. And you want us to listen to Pritzker and Brandon Johnson. Now, Pritzker told us how safe our communities was while he was downtown on the boat. And you want us to listen to him. You want us to listen to Brandon Johnson, who have 150 police detail that's protecting his family, his kids, his wife, and him. And you want us to listen to those people tell us that crime is down in our communities.
This message goes out to President Trump. President Trump, first of all, sir, I commend you on the work you've done to reduce crime in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I commend you for laying out a blueprint on how to deploy effectively the National Guard and federalize the police out there in Washington, D.C. You've laid out a blueprint that can and should be used throughout the United States of America in those communities that need your help. I've also heard you say, sir, that you are waiting for a politician or an elected official to give you a call and ask for your help. Well, I'm telling you right now, sir, throughout our collective communities, whether it be the community of color or other, there is already a clarion call for your help. And that is the call from the blood that has already been spilt on those streets. Those streets, whether it be Chicago, New York, LA, Denver, wherever it is, those streets, those cities already need your help. You don't have to wait for an elected official. Lives that have been lost, people that are afraid, robberies that are yet to occur. People are waiting on your help, sir. And I would hope that you would use that blueprint throughout the United States of America to, like you said and like we voted for, to make America great again and to make America safe again. You had my vote then, sir. Prove my vote now as we await your help. Thank you, sir, and God bless you. And God bless the United States of America.
And I wanted to play a couple of clips just so you guys to see the perspective of everyday citizens residing in the city of Chicago, their viewpoint, their opinion on the current state of Chicago, the crime, the rising migrant crisis due to sanctuary city policies. But yet we got Mayor Brandon Johnson with an executive order trying to prevent President Donald Trump's measures to deport these immigrants that aren't supposed to be in the city to clean up the crime in Chicago. I want you guys to see Mayor Brandon Johnson's response. It says everything when he's confronted about his latest executive order.
How effective do you think this order is going to be? Because these are federal agents we're talking about. They're taking orders from the federal government, not from the city of Chicago.
Yeah, and I don't take orders from the federal government. Thank you all very much.
So we can see Mayor Brandon Johnson is not up to discuss his latest actions against President Donald Trump's administration. We've seen him just storming out of the interview when confronted by the press during that conference on his latest executive order against the Trump administration. Now, a lot of folks may be wondering, why is this Mayor Brandon Johnson kicking up so much dust when it comes to cleaning up crime, the migrant crisis that they're currently facing in the city of Chicago? I have a couple of theories as to why he wants this crisis to continue on. Maybe it's because he wants there to be a continuing problem, crisis in his city, so that the people feel like they need him and he can come in and be the so-called hero of this situation. And then on the other hand, I have another theory. Just found this clip. This is a sit down with Jen Psaki, Mayor Brandon Johnson. We actually see Governor J.B. Pritzker offering up, saying that illegals are going to be scared to vote because of heavy military presence within Chicago, which just blew my mind. He actually said the quiet part out loud.
It's definitely not about the crime. I just want to simplify and reiterate for everybody watching, or any of these cities he's going after where crime has been coming down because of the actions of local communities, as you said. Now, Governor Pritzker offered an interesting theory for what this is all about. I just want to play that for you and get your reaction on the other side.
This is a part of his plan to do something really nefarious, which is to interfere with elections in 2026. He wants to have troops on the ground to stop people from voting, to intimidate people from going to the voting booth. So take note. That is what this is all about.
Well, I thought that was so interesting. I've been saying it's about normalizing military in the streets, but I definitely think that's part of it. But what do you think about this idea that it's actually about the next election?
Well, let me just, first of all, let's just say it. You know, the president has already made it very clear that he does not want another election. And we have to take those type of threats that he has put forward seriously. And it is quite obvious that he is not supportive of our Constitution. And that's really what it boils down to in this moment. Either you support the Constitution or you do not. And this president has literally trampled on the sensibility of what our democracy is all about. And so, you know, the city of Chicago, I can tell you this emphatically, we are not going to accept or nor are we calling for the occupation of our city by federal troops. In fact, no American city is calling for that. And this president has worked to make nonpartisan institutions. He has demonstrated over and over again that he is not committed to what we know to be true, is that our democracy really requires the full participation of every single person. What this president is looking to do is to divide communities, and that's why we've been incredibly firm in Chicago and cities across America that not only are we going to defend our democracy, we're going to make sure that we protect our humanity as well.
So that clip right there, I had to show you guys, absolutely mind-boggling, saying that, you know, heavy troop presence on the ground may prevent folks from getting out and going to the poll. It's going to deter them or scare them. I mean, it's almost like he said the quiet part out loud. Like I said earlier, Governor J.B. Pritzker just admitted that they've been having illegals voting within our elections. Absolutely mind-blowing stuff. these folks are out of touch, and it's really showing. I actually found one more clip, and I'm going to end off on that one. It kind of just plays to my point, reiterates what I've been saying on how out of touch Democratic officials are in the state of Illinois, also the city of Chicago in particular, with that Mayor Brandon Johnson. Just give it a look.
All of this pushback against Trump, knowing how he responds to that, could actually provoke him to follow through with this talk about sending in the National Guard when yesterday he seemed to waffle. Could this make things worse, all this pushback?
Could you imagine if, as a descendant of slaves, if my ancestors would have had that same rationale? Let's not fight against the Confederacy. Let's just try to get along, and then maybe one day they'll give us our freedom. Nowhere in the history of America or the world where marginalized people have sat silent and idle and they've been able to actually achieve justice and liberation. The fact that you have a unified front in Chicago where we are rejecting the occupation by the military of our cities, that's actually fighting for our democracy. That's what's required in this moment. Leading in this moment takes a great deal of courage, but we stand on the shoulders of so many people that have come before us. We have seen these type of tyrannical acts before. One thing that we know for sure, when we fight back against tyranny, the people united always prevail.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. And I feel like that last clip right there, I had to play it. I saved the best for last. And it really just drives home that point that I've been making over these last couple of months on how out of touch the Democratic Party, these Democratic officials are when it comes to the concerns of the everyday American. Folks we're seeing, they're crying out for help, saying, hey, please deploy these troops. Come clean up our city. We've seen way too much crime, and despite what the legacy media is saying, we're seeing the complete opposite. There is a rise in crime, not a drop. There has been a hike, and folks are sick and tired of it. They're not going to continue to play the games of these loonies on the left, and exactly why the Trump administration is steadfast and they're moving and making sure they're moving into these major cities where they're seeing crime on the rise, where they're seeing, sanctuary city policies. They're flooding the zone with criminals and illegal migrants. And this right here is frankly what I voted for, guys. But definitely hop in that comment section. Tons of things throughout this video I would love to see your opinions on. So hop in that comment section. Comments are open, and let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Mayor Brandon Johnson now signed executive orders in order to prevent the Trump administration from moving in and cleaning up his city, guys. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you did enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next week.